we will come out of closed session here. Mr. Terpstra, could you please read us out?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council did meet in closed session at 5:30. Staff was given direction and gave some reports on some pending litigation. Beyond that, there was no reportable action.
Thank you. Now, if everybody could please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council members. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brett. I'm the senior pastor at Calvary Church. Join me in a word of prayer. Thank you so much, dear God, for the beauty of this day and the wonder of this town. God, we thank you for the folks that you've elected here to these high offices to govern with nobility, with integrity, and God, with your will and heart. So God, we just pray over our town. We pray for the wisdom of those who are asked to govern and shepherd and lead, and that you will help them today and always to continue to lead this town in a way that honors you and helps the people who live here. God bless them in the work of their hand and prosper them, I pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. Lisa, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Leo Zuber.
Here.
Mike Restuccia.
Present.
Dean Euchre.
Here.
Vice Mayor Gary Barton.
Present.
Mayor Daniel DeGraff.
Here. Sorry, reading ahead. I am indeed here. Public discussions. This is a time for anybody who wishes to speak on items that are not on the agenda to please come forward, state your name and address, and go ahead and let us know what you have to say.
Okay. I just want to, excuse me for just a second. Oh. Once again, my name is Emil Guillermo, and I am the Poet Laureate of Ripon. And I clearly don't know how to work my iPhone. But what the heck? I called to your attention an article that was in Greet magazine, just talking about what we're trying to do with the Poet Laureate program, and a little about me. I also want to let you know that April is Poetry Month. This is Poetry Month, and prayer is often looked upon as verse, as poetry. We're going to have something special at the Ripon Library for the high school, which has its poetry cafe. And then Thursday, May 15th at the library, 4 p.m., I do my once a month poetry workshop and poetry share for people. So as I like to set a standard, I have a poem for you today. It's called When You Need a Fix in Ripon. When you need a fix for something at home that doesn't work, or maybe you just want to feel at home, go to the town's hardware store. You have problems? They have a Phillips head. You say Ace is the place. In Ripon, one Scampers, now Strand. They know what you need. Public servants to our empty-handedness, our brokenness. They put the right tool in our hands. The woman behind the counter doesn't pounce immediately. She lets me come in with curiosity. I look around, but it is daunting. They have everything. I know what I want, but where is it? Can I help you, the lady at Ace? She knows her store. I say double-sided, double-stick tape. I had some object that needed to stick to a smooth surface, so not the one-sided kind. Double-stick tape, please. The duplicity of it all doesn't faze her. She knows exactly where to go. She'll even help you debate the pros and cons of one brand versus the other. Gorilla? Really? Overkill. This other is cheaper for what you need. Ah, the lost art of customer service, for which I give thanks. AI can't replace the lady at Ace, nor can Amazon. When things are broken, you know where to go to find the quick fix for anything. In Ripon, the answers are still in human terms. software matters at the hardware store. And that's an example of the kind of poetry that I write about Ripon and life in Ripon. And I welcome you once again, the Poetry Cafe, April 23rd at the library, 3 p.m. May 15th at the library, 4 p.m. We have our poetry workshop. Bring a poem, write a poem, share a poem. Thank you very much again for your time. My name is Emil Guillermo.
Thank you very much. All right, anybody else have a public comment? Or a poem, by all means, or both. Lisa, was anything submitted online? No. Okay, seeing none, then we will go on to the approval of minutes of the regular meeting of March 11th, 2025. Motion.
Second.
The motion is second. We'll vote. Oops, sorry, I didn't actually mean to do that. Jumped the gun there, so I technically seconded that. Sorry, Gary. All right, approval of, yeah. Approval of the agenda as posted or amended. I believe there is at least one item. There's nothing being pulled? No? Okay. Nothing being pulled. So is there a motion for the approval of the agenda as
I'll
posted?
move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Go and vote.
Wow.
All right. Approval of the consent calendar.
So move.
Second. Second. Third.
One of you get it. All right. So at this time, when we are done with the consent calendar, that means it's time for presentation of this proclamation. So
Oh, they.
it's time for you guys to come on up. You have to come to the very front. All right. Well, I guess you could talk right into this thing, but I will go and read this, everything it says, and then hand it over to you. And we got some pins as well. So, it says, whereas the hard work, dedication, sportsmanship, talent, and exceptional team chemistry of the 2024 and 2025 Ripon Christian girls varsity soccer team and the girls varsity volleyball team has enabled these student athletes to earn multiple championship titles. And whereas the Ripon Christian girls varsity soccer team earned the titles of California Interscholastic Federation D6 Sac Joaquin Section Champions and California Interscholastic Federation Sac Joaquin Academic Champions. And whereas the Ripon Christian girls varsity volleyball team earned the title of California Interscholastic Federation Sac Joaquin Academic Champions. And whereas the coaching staff, team members, parents, faculty, and student body at Ripon Christian High School were integral in guiding the teams to victory through their unwavering support. Now, therefore, I, Daniel DeGraff, Mayor of City of Ripon, do hereby recognize and heartily congratulate the Ripon Christian High School on its outstanding accomplishments. So we like to do this and recognize everybody, but there's so much that goes into sports. As someone who may not look like an athlete anymore, but who did compete in lots of sports, I know how much goes into not only from the students and their work, but the parents and the coaches and staff for making it all happen. And it's incredible to see the success that you guys are having. And want to congratulate you and thank you for being up here. So nice work. Give you that. And there are some pins for this. All the players. And, yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yep, thank you. So, yep. You guys take pictures. All right, thank you all very much. Item 2, ordinances. 2A, ordinance of the City Council of City of Ripon, amending the chapter 5.08 bingo of the Ripon Municipal Code. And I believe this was brought to us by Councilmember Stusha. If you'd like to explain a little bit.
Sure. So the reason I brought this up was, I don't drink, so it has nothing to do with self-serving, but I do play bingo and bingo was played at Spring Creek until they found out somehow they needed a permit, didn't have a permit, got a permit and got our ordinance, and the ordinance kind of follows state law for the most part. And I think what probably happened in discussion with Lisa, not sure, but when we put our ordinance together, we probably went to every city like we normally do and try to copy things rather than recreate it. And one of the areas in there that says you can't have alcohol in the room playing bingo. The only thing the state law addresses is you can't have an intoxicated person playing. You can be in the room, you can't play. I went through and read all the state law, every piece of it. And so it doesn't disallow. It has to be open to the public, not just the members. It has to be for people over 18 years old. So there's a variety of things that I think are good. But this one says no alcohol. And the concern with that is somebody can walk out the room, drink, walk right back in. I mean, it's not in the state law. It's whether or not we want to allow it. It's happened like that for the last 3 or 4 years I've been playing bingo. And they have a bar right there, and I just think it makes reasonable sense. I've been playing for so long, you never see people get drunk. What typically happens, they go have their dinner and they walk in with their drink, and sometimes they order a bottle of wine for the table or something like that, but it never gets out of hand at all whatsoever. It's a bunch of grown up, well, I guess that doesn't matter, but so I think that we should approve the ordinance. The other thing that staff brought up, which I think is fine, is this isn't just for every bingo game. And there's a lot of rules of who can even have bingo, and you can read it all in there. But you have to have a license to sell alcohol. I think that's important. You can't just have a bingo game, not have a license in it, and have alcohol. You have to be an established entity and have a license from the ABC.
Anything else from staff or any questions?
Can I just add that I did talk to Kevin, I did talk to Chief. They don't have a problem with any of this. They've said to me, so let me just add that.
He did a good job, but if you would like more background, I can give you what I've written in the staff report.
I don't know.
I don't.
Just so
Go
you know
ahead.
that it's the state legislature that actually allows the cities to monitor the bingo. And so that's why the city of Ripon has an ordinance in regards to all this. When looking at the ordinance and our discussion from 2015, when we updated it, we do believe that this portion about alcohol has to do with just a carryover, whatever model ordinance we were using at that time. And so the penal code does have certain requirements, like nobody can get a wage or a profit there. Minors cannot participate. It has to be open to the public. It can only be for nonprofit organizations, senior center organizations, school districts, mobile homes, and the proceeds need to stay within a special fund or for the game. And the game has to be operated by members of the organization that is authorized to do so with the bingo permit.
As far as the money staying, what happens is if you collect $500 because it's $2 a ticket, they have like 4 or 5 games, you get $10, $10. Whatever's left in the pool all goes to the last winner. So there's no money left over.
Right. It's not a gambling where the house is
It's not.
taking in money.
So we've got gambling. You want to add some drinking to the gambling.
Maybe some
Councilman,
firearms?
Is there any other vices you'd like to introduce?
Well, no, I was just
to this?
thinking kind of like when you play golf and you bet on the golf course while you're drinking your beer about winning the game. I thought, yeah, you're at the golf course. I mean, what the heck? But thanks for asking.
Just here to help.
Yes. Is there any other
I
comments,
have a couple.
questions?
And they're probably more down in the weed type questions than anything else.
Let's hear them.
The way the thing is written, it says that minors can't play. Can they be in the room? We're going to have alcohol. Doesn't say they can't be in there. It says they can't play.
That's not even addressed in the state law. I don't know.
Well, so I'm asking the question.
Well, I will tell
What-
you, they're in there now. Well, they were before it got shut down.
I guess my comment would be I would look at it as like any other event that serves alcohol that minors are there's lots of, a DU event, you know, a Ducks Unlimited event. I bring my children at 5 and 7 to it. They serve alcohol, you know, things like that. It's normal for events that, have, you know, raffles and prizes and things to have all ages involved. Bingo's maybe a little bit different, but bingo is something that a lot more young people are being involved in.
Well,
Except-
like I said, they
They're
can't,
not
they
playing. No, I
can't
know.
play.
No,
All they can
cannot
do is
play.
be there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You have to be 18 to play.
Another part says that it has to be open to the public.
That's correct.
Can public come in and observe and not play? It doesn't say that there's.
Sure they could. It's open to the public.
And they can drink.
Sure they can. They can't get intoxicated.
Okay,
Unless,
the other thing I want to bring up, everything that has been said about this is from one place, Spring Creek. This ordinance covers every possible location in town that could offer a bingo game.
That has an ABC license, correct?
Right.
That's
Who
correct.
may not be organized, member-wise, or anything else like Spring Creek.
Well, I don't play anyplace else. That's why I brought this up. 'Cause
And
it is
I'm
Spring
bringing up
Creek.
the fact that
That's a
there's
good
one
point.
other place now, which is a senior center. Tomorrow, some organization in town could go down to the Ripon Inn and say, would you mind if we have a bingo game here every Thursday night? And you could meet every one of these requirements.
They have to rent the property or own the property, or have an office at the property, right?
That's correct.
That nonprofit has to.
Okay, I could do that. What else?
Then you have it.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So the senior center can't do it unless they get an ABC license.
I'm worried about where this can go, not where it is. I'm worried whether we'll be back here in 2 or 3 years wanting to change this because it's gotten out of our control.
We always come back and change things when we
Okay.
find something wrong.
I'd rather do it once.
Well, let's test it and see what happens. I
Well,
don't see it being, again, I don't really see a problem from it, but, you know, it could be, no doubt.
okay, I'm not the most creative guy in the world. There's some out there. There's already conversation. So we might.
Okay, and I agree with that, but if they meet all the requirements, we can't stop them anyway. You know how many Yetis would
What
end up?
what I am trying to say is we might want to dampen the opportunities for things to get out of control without harming Spring Creek.
What I'm concerned about Spring Creek, which will happen, you'll just find a bunch of Yetis in the room, and that just violates everything. I know,
I'm
but that's-
telling you, those are the ones that we end up dealing with. We're not gonna have a problem out there. We won't.
You think the chamber's gonna start having, bingo nights?
You won't have a problem there either.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is a restaurant or a bar that somehow tries to game the system to be able to do it, but,
But I don't even think that's gaming the system. If they've got a nonprofit that wants.
well, if
to
they're a
do it,
nonprofit,
they're-
I guess, yeah.
And they're willing to rent out space to them. I don't know. I mean, I appreciate, that you're anticipating hypotheticals that may be a problem. Right now, I don't envision those hypotheticals being a problem.
especially since it's not gonna be, you can't make a profit on it, so I don't know
Right.
what would the incentive would be to do it. I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't, Leo, you
Sell
make a good
alcohol.
point, but I don't wanna not
They're
do
not
something
gonna,
because.
they don't if I owned the bar, I wouldn't give a rat's patootie about the fact that you're having bingo there. I'm not making money off your bingo.
Right.
I'm making money off your people
Well, so is Spring
because they're
Creek.
gonna pay for the alcohol.
The one thing I would say though, as far as the leasing, when I was looking at the law, and Lisa, if you saw it different, it wasn't just leasing out for a one night type thing. You got to take over complete responsibility of the building and the operations of that building full time. So for a nonprofit to come in and take on the liability of a bar like that, that's probably more than what they would want to
But
do.
there
for
could be a member of the nonprofit that has a facility already, Kevin.
No,
I don't disagree that somebody can scam the system, but they can scam everything we do. And I don't think we should stop just because something may happen.
And I'm not trying
And I'm
to
not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it could happen.
Well, because I have sat in this chair for a lot of years. And the goal of being in this chair was to avoid problems for this community in the future. That's all I'm doing.
I agree.
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not anything. I just don't want to be on the front page of the Manteca Bulletin one year because of something getting out of control. Pure and simple. I have no problem saying that. Not just about bingo, but about a lot of things that we talk about.
No, yeah. We write ordinances and we go back when we find out there's a problem that we didn't see happening and we change them. I think it's something we should put in place, and we find there's some issues, I think we readdress it. I mean, I don't disagree with that.
Well, and the last question I have is this thing won't take effect, even if it's approved tonight, it will be June before it goes into effect, correct?
90 days.
Well,
right?
this would be the first reading, so you would not be taking action on it until next month.
And then 30 days.
And then 30 days after that.
Which would be
So
June.
yeah, June, yes.
So Spring Creek needs to know that because their first bingo game is this month.
They know it because they got their banner.
Yeah, I know, and
already.
it says no
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
But even if this is approved, it still says no alcohol.
So Mike, bingo has been being played at Spring Creek for what, a couple of years now?
Gosh,
No,
More
longer
longer
than that.
I think I've been going out there for 3 years at least.
And so how does it work now?
They're not playing bingo now.
No.
So here's what happened. Somebody,
But they have played bingo.
Yes.
we played bingo without a license. Somebody, I would suspect, like they do with everything, squeals and said something's going on here that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
They said, oh, we gotta have a license. Yeah, you have to have a license. So they stopped it until they got the license.
Okay.
And so they're having a bingo game April 24th. Yes, and I know it's just on the side. It says no alcohol. You gotta be over 21. They decided 21 rather than 18. And I would suspect they'll probably monitor it. And I don't mind being the one talking to Spring Creek about this.
So before they needed a license, were they also then, people were bringing in drinks and?
Mhm. And
Yeah.
kids were there and everything.
Nothing will change with this here. They were bringing, because nobody knew any better. They didn't have a license to begin with. Now that Spring Creek has a license, they gotta follow the rules. They didn't know what the rules were.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, say it's a restaurant, serves alcohol already. If they had a side room that they said, go do your bingo, and it's no different than what Spring Creek would be doing right now. If someone wants to walk over to the bar and grab a drink it, and then go back and play the next
No,
bingo
but
game.
Spring Creek has a bar in the room. where they
Well, I know,
play.
but so does so
No,
do a lot of
no, they
restaurants.
don't. No, they do
It's
not.
that other room?
The bar is the bar. There's not a bar inside the bingo room.
Don't they use the whole room?
No, they gotta go to the bar, get their drink and come in the room. That's what I'm saying. You go walk out the room, drink, and then walk back in the room and play bingo.
Right, if you want to skip a game, you go sit at the bar,
Yeah.
drink and come back
Yeah.
in right now, and that you'd be able
They
to do it right
use
now.
both those rooms, Leo, when it's big enough, but there's no serving of alcohol in the actual room. You gotta go get or you have somebody come bring it.
But if you're doing it at a restaurant or something right now, you could do the same if they had a side room, right? If you just, okay, you guys are cordoned off over there in that room, but they walk out to the bar.
But they could have a bar in the room, the way this is written.
Yeah.
Probably could.
So they're gonna get their bingo license. What if they Spring Creek kind of sees how that goes for a year with no alcohol in the room? See if people are okay with that, then we're good. Then we don't need this ordinance.
Why? They've been doing it for 3 years with it.
No, we do need this ordinance, because right now, well, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Gary, they're gonna bring drinks in there. You know that. They're gonna walk out 2 feet, drink, and go back in. What's the difference?
Well, but then it's on us.
No, but that's completely legal. Walk out the room, drink. Yes, it is. You can't have alcohol in the room where you're playing bingo.
And so if I bring a
So
glass of
that's-
beer in there, isn't there alcohol in the room now?
I just said, you walk out the room, you go to the bar, you drink, and you come back in and play the
Oh,
game.
yes. So, and that's my question is, should we let them try that for a year and see how that goes?
No, I don't think so, because they did it for 3 years, the way this ordinance says. Other than they did have the younger kids in there playing. I mean, if I wouldn't even bring this, well, I wouldn't have brought it up if I saw some of the real issues out there at the time that I played for the last 3 years. There was never an issue.
Well, I guess to your earlier point, the fact that somebody squealed and now they have to get a license is, in my opinion, fairly absurd. But we're getting caught up in it now. This is a Spring Creek issue, in my opinion, not a City of Ripon issue.
Sure it is. We have the ordinance, so it is our issue. They don't write the ordinance, we do.
Oh, the bingo ordinance?
It's the bingo ordinance. And I'm suggesting we modify the bingo ordinance to kind of put into place what they've been doing for the last 3 years before they when they didn't have the license.
Okay.
And just to clarify, the current ordinance says, no drinking in the room where bingo is being conducted, or between playing the games.
But in the room. Because the in the room doesn't go away for the rest of for that whole sentence.
Okay.
Well, to Mike's point, if you go out of the room, then you're fine.
Right.
It's in the room.
You don't want them to chug it outside the room and come back in and play.
Yeah, you want to get some drunk people, have them start chugging drinks between games, right?
You know, if I saw issues out there, I'd say, gosh, I wouldn't have even brought this up. But you know, the 3 years I
Oh,
played. it
I
would
have
never-
no doubt
Yeah,
there are no issues.
yeah.
This is the regulatory. Okay. I've asked my
Yeah.
questions, I think.
All right, well, what's the pleasure of the council?
Well, I'll make the motion since I put it on the agenda
What's your motion to,
to approve the ordinance as presented.
well, you
That
can't
was-
approve the ordinance. You
have to
waive the first reading and introduce the ordinance.
That was it.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. We will call for a vote. I'll try to.
And I'll monitor it for us.
Not letting me call for a vote. There we go. All right. Motion passes 3-1. All right. Discussion items, 3A, building permit software update. Kevin,
I'll
Ken?
take this one, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, fellow council members. We did put together a fairly detailed staff report. Building staff did go through and analyze several different programs. We did narrow it down to the one that's being recommended tonight. There's a pretty good chart in the staff report and kind of the benefits of the software and meeting kind of the objectives of the building department. We're all laid out in the staff report, so I won't go through those in too much depth. We did also hand out a revision to the master services agreement. So city attorney has been working with their attorney and had a few minor tweaks to the master services agreement, which is in front of you here this evening. This was just finished up, I think it was Friday. City attorney might be able to answer any of those questions if you have questions on that master services agreement side of things. But with that, I would turn it back over to you, Mr. Mayor. I'd be happy to answer questions if you have any. Also, there's some staff here from OpenGov as well, if you have questions of him.
Anybody have any questions, comments? None? Okay, anybody? Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna adjust the permit fees to accommodate I read that too, didn't I?
Yeah, so we did allocate $40,000 in last year's budget to implement the program. So that's to kind of get the whole setup going, bring all our old permits into the new software. So that was covered in last year's budget, but the ongoing expense, the yearly subscription or licensing fee, we would anticipate covering that with fees on each permit. We'll be bringing something back at next month's council meeting for the council to consider on that.
I have one question. Maybe I missed it in here, but are there other agencies that are using the same platform that we've seen success with? And the reason I reference that is because there's a handful of cities cities and counties, government agencies. We've been dealing with switching to electronic process, and it's absolutely miserable because the people on the receiving end don't know how to use it, and we don't know how to use it, and it delays projects by months because of it. So.
Yeah, so staff went through a pretty rigorous project here, and they went through not just presentations with the software companies, but also reached out to other jurisdictions using these. So they did go actually visit a couple of these sites and walk through with the staff at those other agencies. I had nothing but good things to say about this software. I'm sure there'll be some glitches and there'll be some people that get caught up in a little of the processing when it first starts, but
Yeah, I mean, from my experience, the thing that was the most frustrating, you'd submit something and there would be no feedback to you when you submitted it, and then there was no feedback on follow-up, or the agency would provide comments so you upload your plans, they would upload comments, but there was no message to you to say, hey, there's this that needs to be addressed. You'd be sitting there for 2-3 weeks waiting for an email, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, we put that in there 2 weeks ago. So as long as that stuff is streamlined and good, or at least can be taken care of, maybe that's a question for you. I don't know if you, assuming you're here from the company, so I don't know if you have any comments, or you're welcome to speak on company's behalf.
Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, thank you for having me here this evening. My name is Brandon. I'm with OpenGov. I'm the regional manager here for the West. So I get to support all of our current partners here in the state of California and neighboring states, and all of our folks who are evaluating OpenGov and coming to us for the first time. But yes, in short, the city staffs of Todd and Katie both went and visited with a few of our partners. I believe it was Selma, Benicia, and Arcata. At least I think were the three that they had a chance to speak with. We're headquartered out of San Francisco, but we have a massive presence throughout the state of California and across the country. So there are about 2,000 local governments leveraging OpenGov, about 600 of those using this specific platform. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay. I don't know that I have any more questions, but.
So I think one of the questions that the mayor was asking is the feedback. Is it like if they get red lines, I think it sends emails out to the applicant, letting them know.
Yeah, that in short answer, that's correct. So correspondence can be routed to them through the system, and to your point of having that kind of feedback conduit for them to see where stuff's at and kind of where their status is at and what the latest and greatest is. That's all going to be routed to them through the system.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in theory, this is the software helps speed that stuff up, but when it doesn't function properly, it just delays and delays and delays, and that's no good. So that's correct. Any other questions?
No, you asked.
Anybody wants to make we need action on this? You're asking for direction to action, not just direction. So is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve. Second.
All right. A motion and a second. Just abstain. All right, motion passes 5-0. All right, with that, we will go into reports. Thank you for being here and for taking questions.
You all just want to say thank you to Ken and to the staff. It was incredible working with them. It's an incredible team. We're very excited. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Chief.
Mr. Mayor, just want to publicly once again say thank you to the board for the First Responders Appreciation Day. I know Councilmember Restuccia was a huge part of that, and I appreciate the public support, everyone that showed up. It was a great event, and we definitely felt supported. So thank you.
Thank you.
Other than that, nothing else to report.
Okay.
Nothing to report.
Ken?
One quick item, we will be having a planning commission on Monday. If you guys would like to come join us, we will be reviewing the housing element, the sixth cycle housing element. The planning commission will hopefully making a recommendation to city council for adoption. I believe it'll be coming to city council in June. Consultant had a conflict in the for the May meeting, but if you want to know a little bit more about the housing element before it gets in front of you guys, feel free to show up on Monday night.
All right. James?
Yes, two quick things, Mr. Mayor, Honorable City Council. So our March water usage was 36% lower than our 2013 numbers, but we were 3% higher than our last year's numbers. And then our large item pickup program has begun. Residents can sign up for a one-time large item pickup of 4 separate items through September. They could either do that online or they can come into the office and fill out the forms there.
How's that program been going in the past? So, I mean, I know we sort of revised it a couple times there. It's been working fine though, no issues, no needed changes to the program?
Yeah, not that we're aware of. I mean, we could probably report out at the end of this year to kind of let you know how many households utilize it. It's been fairly consistent. Once we get into September, we get a lot more people realizing it's going to end, and so we get kind of that rush at the end there. But yeah, we've had good feedback from the residents and feel like it's working.
Good, thanks. Mr. Terpstra.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Warner.
Nothing to report.
Councilman Zuber.
I don't have anything to report, but I have comment. I've noticed a lot of work being done on vacant lots in town, and this is probably the earliest that I can recall ever seeing it being done, which I would commend staff for the work they've been done since we talked about it, because we got some weed patches around here that
Bad year for
have
weeds.
been here forever, and they're starting to come down. I will tell you, I'm still concerned about the property along Goodwin Drive. It never got done. A couple of them last year, and they're still not done yet, but some of them they're working on, so. But several others, the property owners have taken care of it, and I'm glad to see that, because it's not gonna get any better as far as fire and all that sort of thing, so, thank you.
Councilman Stusha.
Yeah, so typically what happens, is they get a phone call from Liz, she leaves a message and they go get it done before they call her back. Yeah, next month I'm gonna bring an ordinance to eliminate alcohol from restaurants. That's gonna be okay.
Good luck with that. Look forward to the discussion.
Exactly. Same people that play bingo. Thank you all that did come to the first responder. It was smaller than normal, but I think Kelly said a lot of events this time were smaller. But what I do have, Rickman gave me some certificates, one for the police department in recognition of First Responder Appreciation Day. And he has one for the fire department, which I'll give them, and then one for the city of Ripon as well, just in his First Responder Appreciation Day resolution. That's it.
All right. Councilman Euchre. Vice Mayor Barton.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just wanted to echo comments about First Responders Day. Beautiful morning. Again, one of those events that makes you proud to be a citizen of Ripon. Thanks to Mike and Mona and the others who serve in leadership of that event. Yeah, I just love seeing folks out supporting the people who protect us with their lives and treasure. Thank you, Chief Sauer, Chief DeHart. Second thing I wanted to mention is I'm not sure why coincidentally, but several conversations over the last few weeks. And it made me realize that I'm pretty confident to say the biggest social organization in our town is the recreation department. It is amazing how many people you run into whose kids are playing with other people's kids, and the parents have met, or the parents played in sports earlier and now they know each other. And there's just this huge network that really contributes to much of the goodwill in this town because people know each other through that. And so I just want to give a shout out to you, Kai, for your leadership of that department. There's a whole bunch of good beyond just
hitting a ball or chasing a soccer ball that results from our work at the Recreation Department, and the city's support of that.
Right now, we're playing flag football tomorrow night.
Are you?
The kids, no, I gotta watch. It's a great event.
You gonna serve alcohol?
No, seriously, Gary, based on what you're saying, I mean, there's a ton of parents out there and kids, and it's like one big family out there playing these sports. That's a very good observation. And Kai usually comes out too. I see you running around out there every ball game.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that this town is pretty special. It's apparent from every event that we have, anywhere you go and drive around, talk to people. I think the first time I kind of realized that how special the sporting stuff in particular was, I was at a concert in Santa Rosa. This was long before I had children. My wife and I were there and talking to some people at the merch booth. And they're like, oh, I know where Rippon's at. We play soccer there, and it's they're from 4 hours away where they lived, and we met randomly at a concert in Santa Rosa, and they know where Rippon's at because the facilities we have, and it's special to a lot of people. So that's because of a lot of people's hard work, but it just says a lot about the community we live in as well. I don't need to beat a dead horse, but the First Responders Day was a very nice event. Again, thanks to the community, and thanks to Chief Sauer and Chief DeHart for your departments, all the work you do, carrying on a pretty fantastic legacy. So thank you, and thank you to everybody who showed up tonight to listen. Well, that's it. Meeting adjourned for this one. What all do we need here? Roll call? Lisa, can we have a roll call?
Director Leo Zuber,
Here.
Dean Euchre,
Here.
Mike Restucia,
Present.
Vice Chairman Gary Barton,
Present.
Chairman Daniel DeGraff.
I am here. Public discussion. Anybody from the public like to speak for the successor agency? No? None submitted? All right. Approval of minutes?
So move.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Consent calendar?
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
I think that was less than a minute. That was good.